Hey guys, hope everything is going well for y'all and you're enjoying quarantine. We are actually doing oh my gosh. Oh. Okay, we're actually doing a new unit. We started with the Paul Revere's Ride that we did last week. And it's a patriotism unit, so it's all about America. And so y'all read about Paul Revere, and then I think that was all y'all read last week. Okay, so this week we're going to be reading a story called War Party by Louis L'Amour, and you'll have all week to do it. The notes for it will be due on Friday. So just today you can listen and fill out your notes, and maybe tomorrow finish up listening, and then on Friday just make sure you turn in your notes for it. The essential question for this is, this short story is an example of historical fiction, and why should we read historical fiction? And the reason is because the reader can gain a better understanding of history through an entertaining story. So although it is fiction, so not true, it takes place in a time in history that actually did happen. So that's what makes it historical fiction. So make sure that you're filling out your notes as you listen to this. And this answer is definitely on there. So make sure you're filling that in. So what do you already know? So in your notes, brainstorm all that you know about the pioneers that settled in the West. Think about what life was like as a pioneer and why did people go out West. Oh yeah, the other thing y'all did last week was the Lewis and Clark video. And the reason that we did that was because we're doing patriotism. Y'all probably were like, what are we doing? And this is not social studies. But it has a purpose, I promise. So that's what I want y'all to think about. What was life like as a pioneer, and why did people go out west? Next thing you're going to do in your notes, you're going to list 2 goals that you have for your future. What obstacles may you face when trying to accomplish these goals? And then, are these possible obstacles easy to overcome in order to achieve success? Are they easy to overcome? All right, so background to the story that y'all are about to read. The setting of War Party is in the mid-19th century. Many settlers were moving to the west, attracted by the promise of land. So they knew they knew that a lot of land would be there, and so they wanted to go out west. Unfortunately, with westward expansion, settlers faced obstacles. One of the most dangerous being Native Americans, because we were going to take their land. I'm sure y'all have learned about that in history, and if you haven't already, we went and took the Native Americans' land. Settlers also faced the challenges of the rough terrain, which is like the ground, or like it was mountainous, and the threat of diseases like smallpox and cholera. So it's pretty much like coronavirus, but hundreds of years ago. They were trying to avoid smallpox and cholera. So important vocabulary that you'll need to know is ail, which means to feel ill or be in pain. Contempt, which means an attitude of despising or scorn. Disparagingly, which means in a manner that shows a lack of respect. Encroach, which means to intrude or trespass. And then principal, not like principal like school principal, which I'm sure you guys heard we got a new principal. That'll be Miss Short. But not that kind of principal, like this is a different kind. The code of good behavior or morality, like it's on principle. It's like you're doing it because it's the right thing to do. So a little bit about your author. This is Louis L'Amour. He was 80 when he died. He left home at age 15. Held jobs such as a ranch hand, a lumberjack, longshoreman, and an elephant handler. Interesting. He coined the term yondering, which, oh, that's interesting. Period of his life, he wandered yonder. I bet some of y'all's families say that. One student in particular I teach, I know your family says it. All right, and then he began writing fiction after serving overseas in the army. He wrote 3 novels a year for over 30 years. That is a lot. All right, so let's begin. As you read, think about how this short story could be classified as historical fiction. Be prepared to answer the essential question after we've completed the reading. So now what y'all are going to do is listen to the story and read, and then fill in the notes. You're going to have to do a story map, and that's to ensure that you understood what happened and make sure that you include specific details about key events in the story. You don't need to copy the diagram down. I should have it posted for you guys. It'll be like that, but I'll have that on your notes for you. And you'll just turn that whole thing in. And I don't know. I guess I'll do a after you. I'll go ahead and actually just do it now. No sense in doing two. Okay, so you've read the story. Follow up to essential question 1. Based on the selection that we just completed, why should we read historical fiction? And you guys should be able to answer that one in your notes already. And then essential question 2 is now let's think about the characters in this short story. How do fictional characters allow us to reflect on the lives of real people? So how do fake characters allow us to reflect on the lives of real people? And the answer is, think specifically about the characters of Ma, Bud, and Try and Bert. Could they have been real people, and what could we have learned from their experiences? So y'all are going to have to fill that out. Make sure you fill out essential question 2. Patriotism. Think about the concept of westward expansion. How does this concept relate to our theme of patriotism? And then how could these early settlers be called patriots? So think about that word patriot and what that means. And how could these early settlers be called patriots? And answer these questions in your notes. You do not need to do a character sketch. So ignore that. So anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. I miss you guys. I'm sure y'all don't miss being at school, but it gets pretty boring around here. So you guys know how to reach out to me if you need anything. I'll be happy to help. And make sure you do your IXLs. Have a great rest of your week. Talk to y'all later.